My brother, 63% of all youth suicides come from fatherless homes. 85% of our youth sitting in prisons today come from fatherless homes. 90% of our homeless and our runaways come from fatherless homes. 71% of our dropouts come from fatherless homes. And 85% of our children that show behavior disorders come from fatherless homes. So I ask this evening, where are all the dads? You know, God desires an intentionality when it comes to our families and our children. Malachi 4:6, and he shall turn the hearts of the father to the children, and the children's hearts to the fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. You know, I often wonder why God inspired Malachi to write those words, and sometimes I wonder why it's the very last verse in the Old Testament before 400 years of silence. I think maybe God was giving us 400 years to get our act together. I think maybe he was describing a world distracted where households were absent of the spiritual leader of the dad that became the norm and chaos prevailed. So I asked the question, what if, my brothers, what if there were no dads? What if no granddads, no stepdads, no dad figures, no uncles, no men other than biological fathers or not, totally exempt from any paternal responsibility? Picture this world, a world with no dad to tuck their kids in bed at night. No dads to accompany their daughter on a father-daughter dance. No dad to be with his son on a weekend campout. No dad to be in the stands to watch his son or daughter play sports. No dad available to pick up their child after a late night event. No dads for graduations or birthdays or celebrations. No dad to one day walk his daughter down the aisle. No dads to one day become granddads. Well, my brothers, this is a very real picture. Can you imagine a world where there were no dads? A world full of men where the only expectation of the men were to simply produce more children. We are in a crisis. Our families are in a crisis. If we lose our dads, we lose our families. And if we lose our families, we lose our dads. The numbers are staggering. 65% of our children are growing up in households without a father. 1/3 of our babies are living in poverty, and when a child grows up without a father, they are 20 times more likely to end up in prison. 24.7 million children today live without their dad. So I ask this question, where is the church? You know, research says, or survey says across this country that only 10% of all churches can say that they have a vibrant men's ministry. And even less than that have ministries focused and targeted specifically on the dad. Why go after dads and not just men in general? I've got 4 reasons for you. Number 1, dads are good for the Christian faith. If a father goes to church regularly, regardless of what the mother's practice is, 2/3 to 3/4 of their children will one day become churchgoers. Dads are good for the church. If you transform the dad, you transform the family. And if you transform the family, you transform the community and society. If you draw the dad to church, you often get the family as a bargain. And finally, dads are good for families. You know, Christian men who are dads make some of the very best dads. According to research, active religious dads have the highest involvement in their children's activities. And finally, dads are good for dads. Church participation leads dad to become even more engaged husbands and even better dads. Daily, active, devoted dads. My brothers, our churches are a reflection of our families, which are a reflection of our dads. So if we want strong churches, we need strong dads. If you want to grow your men's ministry or your nonprofits, we must be willing to grow the dads. So what are we doing to attract the dads? You know, many fathers are chasing their own dreams. Some dads choose to chase their kids. My question for us tonight is, as this universal body, as the church, who are we chasing? I've got two simple charges for the church tonight: to rally and to recruit. Rally those men and celebrate those men and acknowledge those men that are already in the game. If we don't tell them, church, who will? Who celebrates the men that are already in the game? Secondly, recruit. We've got to find a way to enlist those men that are standing on the sidelines to get off the bench and to get in the game and to suit up, to put on the armor for their families and their kids. My brothers, just think, I want you to just think if today we had more dads. To God be the glory. Amen.